I'm back. I'm back on my Greek mythology retelling grind. This is one of my favorite genres, and it's honestly one that I turn to when I'm in a bit of a slump because I know that I love it so much. And so, I've been kind of feeling a little slumpy because life has been hard recently. So I picked this one up at the library a while back, and I finally got to it, and let me tell you, I loved it. This was a 4.5 out of 5. This is The Children of Jocasta by Natalie Haynes. I've read other Natalie Haynes. I've not read the Pandora Jar. Is that the Jar of Pandora? Whatever her one book, Pandora's Jar, is. But I have read 1,000 Ships, and I also really enjoyed 1,000 Ships. But I think what is so beautiful about this story is Haynes is able to use ambiguity and hindsight and hearsay to truly change what we anticipate from a story like this. This is essentially a story that we've heard over and over again, the fact that Jocasta's son is the person that she marries later in life, and then when they find out, they're so disgusted because they didn't know that she takes her own life, and then he takes his. That's like the classic myth, right? However, in this version, and I don't want to give like too much away, but to a certain degree, this is 1,000-year-old story, so like if you don't know it, I'm sorry that I just spoiled it for you, but I don't know, get into the classics, I guess. But what I enjoyed about this was it was more gossip laden. It was less the truth and more like we don't know the truth. Jocasta doesn't know the truth. Her husband doesn't know the truth. The children don't know the truth. Anyone else in her life doesn't know the truth. And so what truly happens is just the gossip wheel, the rumor mill wheel, spreads this misinformation eventually to a point where like it starts to get to her. But instead of Haynes allowing her to kind of succumb to the rumors, the way that the classical myth is portrayed, Jocasta is actually, like, she chooses to take her own life because of how much she loves her children. She loves her kids so much that when she starts to feel the symptoms of a plague that has been spreading that has a pretty much like a 95% like fatality rate, she loves her children and her family so much that she does not want to put them at risk. So she decides to end her own life because of that. And so I liked this twist a lot because I thought it gave a lot of agency back to her. And this is kind of a dual perspective timeline. We have Izzy, our other main character. I think her name is Ismene. But they call her Izzy. They all have kind of like more modern like nicknames. Like Antigone is Annie. But I liked the dual perspective because Izzy is Jocasta's daughter, and Izzy has grown up her whole life thinking that her mom harmed herself and, decided to end her own life because she was so ashamed. And that's like the prevailing narrative. That's the narrative we've all heard as people who enjoy the classics and Greek mythology and everything. But what Haynes does here is she gives agency back to Jocasta by it being Jocasta's choice to save her own children in this choice. And Ismay finds this out through the doctor who was really good friends with her mom, Jocasta. And so it's kind of this story of not just self-discovery, but like familial discovery. And I really liked it. I like twists on the classics. I don't think everything needs to follow like line for line, word for word, like what we expect to happen. I think that's why I'm such a fan of Song of Achilles. I really liked, it's the classic story and not a ton changes, but allowing Patroclus and Achilles to be in love with each other changes so much about the perspective. And Jocasta's reason for taking her own life, and this story is kind of similar in that way. And so I really liked this. If you like Greek mythology retellings, I think Natalie Haynes is one of the best. Madeline Miller I think is top tier. She's like my the end all be all for me, but she has only written 2 books, whereas Natalie Haynes has written way more, and all of them that I have read have been very good. So if you're looking for some Greek mythology retellings that you will enjoy, may I suggest this one. Sorry for the glare, this is a library book, so it has the like plastic sheen on it, but it was very good.